Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Angela. I am a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and my channel is dedicated to those of you that are just getting started out in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration. And through my channel, I answer your questions and I share with you some of the techniques and tips and tricks that I use every day in my own voiceover business. And today's video is going to be about something that I was asked fairly recently, and that was, I feel like I say that a lot, but it was about when to increase your prices on Fiverr. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get into it. Okay, so if you are a seller on Fiverr and you have started recently and your prices are at $5, for example, if you're a voiceover artist, if you're at like 100 words for $5 and you've been there for quite some time and you're starting to see some business and maybe you've leveled up one level, maybe you're a level one seller now on Fiverr, and you're wondering with everything that happens with or could happen whenever you change something on your gig, you're wondering, if I change my prices, is that going to put me to the back of the pages? Is it going to promote me more in the algorithm? Or is Fiverr's algorithm going to promote me more? Or am I going to lose clients? Am I going to shoot myself in the foot by raising my prices on Fiverr? And there really isn't a way to really understand or explain the algorithm on Fiverr or how it works specifically. Most of us that have been there for a while have a pretty good idea of what you should or shouldn't do, but there isn't any exact formula that we know on how the algorithm in Fiverr actually works. We do know that when you change something in your gig, you run the risk of changing your position in the rankings, either good or bad. But as I always tell people, demos and samples, you definitely want to refresh as you go along and you get better in your craft, of course, because that's a natural progression of how things work, right? You practice, you do a lot of these things, and then you get better and you want to showcase what you sound like now. Or you upgrade equipment or your space, or you know what I mean? Things will change for the better. So you definitely want to update your demos. Also, keeping with trends, if you're looking around at other users on Fiverr and you see that the styles or formats of thumbnails or the colors, what some of maybe the top rated sellers are using as thumbnails on Fiverr, and you go, maybe I need to update my thumbnail, that's not necessarily a bad thing either. Having a great thumbnail is one of the reasons I think that people actually click on your gig, because it's appealing, right? But in changing your prices, it could really go one of two ways. It could go, you change your price, you increase your prices, and then you are down at the bottom of the search rank. Or you could be up at the top. Fiverr could promote you up on the top of page one because you increased your prices. It's really hard to determine or put your finger on exactly what it is that is going to change your position for the bad or for the worse or for the better, for the bad, for the worse or for the better. You know what I mean? But increasing your prices is never a bad thing. Oh, my camera just moved. Sorry about that. But increasing your prices is never a bad thing. Increasing your prices is, it's your worth, it's your time, it's your experience, it's the training that you invest in. It is something that is also a natural progression. Clients that you have that have worked with you on your $5 level are more than likely still going to work with you on your $10 level. And you don't have to increase your prices across the board on the front end and the back end. And when I say back end, I mean the pricing page that you fill out on your gig. You have your front facing gig, which is your base price, really. You'll see 100 words for $5, right? And then everything on the back end would be additional words for X amount of dollars, your commercial rights fee, your full broadcast rights fee, your background music fee, your rush delivery fee, all of those I consider to be back end. You could increase the price on your front end or your basic gig, and then you could also adjust the pricing on your back end to also increase some of those figures or to change the back end additional word counts so it's still not a lot more money, but it's still kind of a little bit closer to what it was before. I hope that makes sense. My brain is going in several different directions at the moment, but I hope I'm making sense. So your prices aren't like rocketing out of your previous clients' budgets, so to speak. You can change it a little bit so your entry price is a little bit more commiserate with where other people in your range are, but it's still not way outside of your client's budget. Hopefully that makes sense. But before I always, let me just say, before I increase my front end price or my base price, I always go to my back end prices and raise those first. For example, when I first started, my commercial rights fee was, I believe it was like $10 or $15, and now it's up to $30. You can increase those incrementally by $5 every so often. And also that goes with additional word counts. You could change your background music fee. If you sync your voiceover to video, you can increase that fee. It should be not a low fee anyway, because syncing to video does take time. But I don't think that changing your prices is necessarily, or increasing your prices is necessarily a reason for you to go to the back of the search pages. Anytime you do change really anything on your gig, you take that chance of it resetting your algorithm to put you in a different position in the ranking. You take that chance with everything that you change. But increasing your prices is, again, just a natural occurrence in this process of getting better. So it's not a bad thing. And I would say the time that determines when you should increase your prices would be really when you're so busy that you cannot possibly, or you're getting to the point where you're so busy and you are afraid that you might not be able to keep up. That is a good opportunity to raise your prices. Or if you're starting to level up in Fiverr, I would definitely increase your prices because you are then at the same pricing level as other people in your level. So before you consider changing your prices, first take into account what kind of orders you have, how many you have, what your workload is, really, if you can handle that workload. And if not, take a look at some of the other users on Fiverr in your category and on your same level and see what they're charging. Take a look at their pricing structures and see what they're being paid for how much. You can use a simple script word count of maybe $500 and put it into their word count calculator and see, what that end result price would be, and then compare it to yours. And then go back into your gig and then adjust it accordingly so you're at least close to the same amount of your gig amount would be about the same amount as somebody else's. But again, don't be afraid to raise your prices. You are worth what you feel you are worth. If you don't feel that you're worth $5 for 100 words, then raise your prices. All of the pricing and structures and everything that I recommend to you is just a recommendation because this is how I did it. It doesn't necessarily mean that this is the only way to do it. Ultimately, this is your business. You do this how you want to do this. If you don't like anything that I say, then do it your own way. No one said that you have to do things as I say that you do them. I'm only sharing with you my experience and how I did things to create where I'm at, or create the business that I have and where I'm at now. So I hope that helps answer that question for you as to when to increase your prices on Fiverr. If you have any other questions for me, or if you have any other interests in how I can help you get started in voiceover, or you want to know a little bit more about me for your voiceover project, please check out my website, VoiceOverAngela.com. Thank you, as always, for your time. If you found this helpful, hit that like and subscribe buttons. I really appreciate that too. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.